So I've got a couple of questions. First question would be, what are some common causes for my brain being stimulated?
Yeah, that's a really tricky question, Toby. One of the tricky ones. So the brain is mainly stimulated by something called the reticular activating system, and it's kind of a whole lot of cells at the bottom of your brain, and they control things like sleepfulness and wakefulness and arousal. And so that's kind of like the master switch for stimulation of the
The
brain.
ruling council then.
Yeah, but then lots of other things have an impact on that. So, if there's lots of sensory things going on, if it's very noisy, a very light, busy environment, it's easy to get over-aroused, very stimulated. If it's a quiet environment, you're much less likely to be highly aroused.
Mm-hmm.
And then things like feeling states, emotions. So if you're really anxious, your brain gets quite stimulated, trying to get ready to, run away from something, the flight response, or maybe to fight something. And then there's kind of some substances that can lead to your brain being stimulated. So some medications can stimulate your brain. And then there's also some disorders or conditions which can make your brain overstimulated. So ADHD can make people look very overstimulated, and another condition is bipolar disorder. So it's often a really combination of all those factors that lead to your brain being stimulated or not. But with ADHD, there's often two groups of people. So there are some people who are very, very easily overstimulated and kind of wired and really excitable. And then you have some other, like that. And then you've got some other people with ADHD who are kind of sluggish and kind of slow. So there's a huge variety with it. So yeah, it's kind of a complicated answer, but yeah.
If you were the big, loud, noisy one, which would be, what do you think would most be likely to stimulate your brain very quickly and make it be a very strong stimulation? Would it be noise, lights?
Yeah, it can be different for different people. So some people can tolerate a lot of noise without any difficulty, and other people get really agitated by it.
Okay.
And the same with light. Some people hate going to malls because it's so bright, whereas other people it doesn't have an impact on them at all. So it's quite individual for different people, and it's worth thinking about, what things make me highly aroused or maybe over-aroused, and trying to minimise them. And people who are under-aroused, they often need more stimulation. So, it can be quite useful for them to be in environments that are more stimulating, like they might benefit from tasting a very sour lolly or something like that kind of gets them going. So it's quite individual.
Then, is there a certain reason why I am susceptible to making my brain be very hyperactive, which in some cases can make me loud and obnoxious, similar to a 9-year-old child?
Yeah, that's another good question. So, being very busy, people with ADHD, their minds are often very busy, and they're often very busy in themselves with their body. It's one of the core symptoms of ADHD. So hyperactivity and impulsivity and trouble with attention are kind of the three main areas. And it's just one of the things that goes with ADHD. Not all people have that. So some people just have inattention or problems with their concentration or very easily distracted. But other people have a lot of hyperactivity, through the roof, real trouble sitting still for any moment of time, and that can make you look less mature, Yeah.